I wanted to make this video because on one of my trading accounts, I'm currently up 89+% year to date. And then on my main trading account that I use for my life, I am up over 50% year to date. Right now it's December. I'm really trying to get to 100% on both of them, but at least one of them. And I want to share with you some strategies that I've been using with this smaller account in order to be able to get gains inside of the market. I know it's really hard at times if you start off with a smaller account and you're trying to figure out, how do I grow this account? It feels like I'm not really making any money. And in this video, I'm going to show you the exact markets that I have been trading and how you can potentially capture some of that for yourself. Now, obviously, nothing in this video is considered as financial advice. Nothing is guaranteed. This is just my own experience and I'm sharing this with you. So I have some notes here that I'm going to be talking about. And if you're a newer trader, or even if you have some experience under your belt as a trader and you want to get my help directly, not from coaches, not from anybody else, but me showing up twice a week, helping you with your trades, giving you feedback, then go ahead and check out LaKieshaTrades.com, because that'll give you the details in order to join the Profitable Traders Academy. And if you're new to trading, don't know anything about it, and you want to know where to start, then go ahead and check out the Trading Launchpad in order to get my support there a couple of times a month. Also with a really cool library that I am building for you all in order to take you from knowing absolutely nothing to being able to confidently buy your first stock. And there's so much more to come in that group, so go ahead and check out those programs. The links are in the description box below, and pick the one that is best for you right now. So I highly recommend Profitable Traders Academy, because that is where you're going to see a lot of growth relatively fast, potentially, depending on you, your work ethic, and all those good things. I definitely want to make that clear. So what I'm talking about here today is based off of a conversation that I had just a few days ago with one of the members inside of the Profitable Traders Academy. She was trading the SPY, trading 0 DTE contracts. And if you don't know what 0 DTE stands for, it just means 0 days to expiration. And when you're trading options, you have a contract that has an expiration date. And one of the bad things about 0 DTE contracts, at least in my opinion, because some people are trading them and are making money, that's not my desire to do it that way, but people are making money from it. But usually for a newer trader, it's going to be very expensive and it's going to be very risky. Now, trading something like the SPY, which is the S&P 500, is going to be relatively expensive compared to other things out there. And when you have a 0 DTE contract, basically what that means is, if today is Friday and you buy this contract with 0 days to expiration, you have to close out that contract before the end of the trading day. Usually it's an hour, 2 hours, something like that before the trading day closes, in order for the contract to not go to zero. So that means that if this contract costs you $300 and you're not out of this position, by the end of the day, you have lost $300 because there's no more value in it. And then the other thing with 0 DTE contracts is that it has something called theta, which is also known as time decay. So on the last day of that options contract, the theta is going to be moving like crazy towards zero, because you have to sell that contract before the end of the day. So it adds a lot of stress and pressure to someone who is trading a 0 DTE contract. And especially if you're a newer trader, you're like, I got to get out of this trade because I'm going to lose all of my money that I put into this contract if I don't get out of it. And if you're already down, it may be hard for you to just exit the trade with a loss. And sometimes a smaller loss is better than 100% total loss. Okay, so I was talking to the member inside of the Profitable Traders Academy, and I pulled up my account and I said, look, these are some of the things that I am trading right now that are in the smaller account. It's roughly 5 figures. It's like low 5 figures, but I'm trading this account and I'm making some money on these different options contracts. This is not financial advice. I'm letting you know this right now. Not financial advice, not an an expectation of what you could expect. And I want to share some realistic things that I'm doing inside of this smaller account. And since she had that question and was curious, I figured that you will be curious about that as well. So that's why I'm creating this video that I had no intention on making here. But let me go ahead and pull up the list right here. So these are some of the options contracts, and we'll reveal them one by one. But basically, some of the contracts that I am looking at right now, or at least contracts that I am in right now, currently profiting from them. It has been all green for the past couple of days, and it's been amazing because some of these have taken time, and I'll tell you which ones have taken time. So looking at my list right here, the first one is Palantir. You can see that I'm currently up 17%, up $356 inside of this contract. Now, this is one of the ones that it has taken some time because they had earnings, it was up, and then it just sold off sharply, and I was basically just catching the move on the downside based off of the way that I marked up my charts. Now, if you want to understand charts, there's so many videos here on this channel, and better yet, join the Profitable Traders Academy so that way we can go through your charts step by step. But Palantir was one that I was looking at, and as you see with this particular contract, I have about 5 months for this contract to end. So the thing that I dislike about zero DTE is that you have to sell it that day. So I used to trade options contracts about 5 years ago, and a couple of times on this channel I talked about how I've lost over almost $30,000 in 1 week, and that was because I was trading Amazon. I bought 2 options contracts, and at that time Amazon was something like $3,200 a share. So I bought 2 contracts in Amazon, and these contracts were almost $30,000, and or at least close to $30,000, and it was a lot of money for me to put on the line. But at that time I'm thinking, it's Amazon, it's going to go up, and I thought that it was going to go up in that week, but actually it took 2 weeks for it to go up. And also, I didn't know anything about NFP, which is non-farm payrolls, and that occurs every single month on Friday, where they release data and the markets go crazy. I didn't know anything about that at all, and that caused me to lose almost $30,000 in that 1 week because I didn't give my contract enough time, and I was obviously over risking, and I had this belief that Amazon would go up. It did the following week, and I didn't know anything about the fundamentals in terms of all of the different news catalysts that could really push markets, because at that time I was an investor, so I'm not checking it every single day. I'm just letting the market do its thing, and then I look maybe 6 months later and I made a bunch of money, and that's obviously a great feeling and something that we want. But when it comes to trading options specifically, and when it comes to trading specifically, we have to be cognizant of those things, and we also have to put ourselves in the best position in order to profit from the markets, which is why in this particular situation I chose to go out to April 2026, even though right now when I'm recording this it is December 2025. I'm giving myself that breathing room because it did take a few weeks for this position to actually become green. Actually, this week it took that amount of time. So going to the next position here, I have Hood, which is Robinhood. You can see that the expiration date is May 2026. Currently up almost 23% on this. Really cool, $462. This started pushing up last week, so I had to give it some time. I bought this maybe 2-3 weeks ago, and I had to wait at least 1 week for it to start moving into the green. So next we have Nvidia here on the list. I'm currently up 10%, a little over 10%, and I have until July of 2026 on this, giving myself some more breathing room because I'm buying safety. Even though these contracts that are further out, they may cost more money, you're basically buying safety because you want to give that market time to push up, and that's exactly what I have done here. So this is another one that took a little bit of time. I bought this about 3 weeks ago, took a little bit of time to finally start showing green. Actually 2 days ago from this screenshot, which I took just a few minutes before filming this video, but basically it took some time. So imagine if I would have got a weekly in the first week, I'd be out of money. And what if I got another weekly the second week? I'd be out of money. So giving myself some time because I'm learning from experience. I'm not trying to have another 30K loss. Not at all. So the next one is going to be APOD. So this one, I've had this for a little bit longer, maybe about a month, and it did take some time for it to start pushing up. But then once it started pushing up, it really started to move. Currently up about almost 60% on this. Got one contract out. You can see that it's out to 2027. So I'm giving myself a good long time for this to really push up, because this was one of those markets I wasn't really familiar with. I did some research on it and I'm like, okay, I like how this is looking from a fundamental standpoint, but I don't necessarily just want to put in my usual 3-6 months or whatever. I want to give it even more time. And since it was so cheap to me, then I was like, hey, let's go for over a year. And that's what I'm doing here. You can see that it's currently pushing up. I have it in this account, and then I also have it in my larger account as well, where I have, I think, 2 contracts in that account. Same expiration, just giving myself some time. So the other position that I have here is Lyft. And you can see that this is a $15 call. So these stocks are not crazy expensive. So you could have potentially a $500 account, a $1,000 account, whatever that amount is. You buy potentially one of these contracts and you just hold it for a couple weeks, a month, whatever. And because it doesn't take this long for these ideas to play out, you can see that with some of these, I could just cash these out today and be totally fine and just find a new position. So with Lyft right now, I have over a year for this to play out. I got 2 contracts. I'm currently up almost 40%, almost $600 on these 2 contracts together. So it's looking pretty good. And I'm looking actually for opportunities to add to this position because I really like the movement of it. I missed it some months back and now I'm like, okay. So actually here on Lyft, this was another position that I was waiting for the right price. I entered and I wanted to buy more contracts of these, but then it pushed up. So now I'm waiting for another opportunity to add more contracts. And once again, I'll probably be looking for January 2027, just like I'm looking for here. But in this smaller account, I can't really buy it today. Maybe I can buy one contract today because I don't have that much money in here. But let's just say that the opportunity presented itself and I could buy one additional contract to add to this position. So now, looking at the Lyft position, if I wanted to add another position, I definitely could to this account. Maybe if I sell one of these positions, then I'll have more money to put into Lyft. But this is just an example. These contracts are relatively cheap compared to some of the larger companies, and it's totally doable on a small account because I'm currently doing it on my account. So another one that I'm looking at is USAR. This is rare earth. This is a $15 call, once again out to 2027, because when I looked at the fundamentals, it looked cool. But the thing about it is that it looks like it's going to take a while for it to actually reach the levels that I wanted to. And that's why I got it out to 2027. This one finally started making money yesterday. So actually this week, not yesterday. And now I'm up $400, 30%. I could call it and just take my money and be good. So that's another position. But you can see that these contracts are not really expensive for a small account. That's why I'm using this in my smaller account. Now, the last one is BBAI. This is Big Bear AI. I did a whole video on this channel about this company, and I said that I was going to buy some options contracts. You can see that I bought them out to 2028 and currently up $160 on these contracts. So this is something that I may use in order to grow the smaller account as well. And I also have some pending orders in my larger account as well because I'm also looking to buy shares. But focus on a smaller account. Options are definitely the way for me to grow my accounts. And that has contributed to the 50+% on the smaller account year to date, even though I've been withdrawing money. And then it has also led to the 89+% gain year to date on my larger account. So definitely showing you some hacks here in terms of growing your small account because these things have worked for me. And I also want to invite you to join the Profitable Traders Academy if you're a new trader, if you're a slightly seasoned trader and you want to be able to get some strategies that are going to help grow your portfolios, grow your accounts. We definitely have people in there that have grown their accounts in as little as a few weeks. Now, that's not everybody's experience, of course, but there are people that are doing it, and it's possible for people who put in the work. And if you're one of those people, definitely check out the link in the description box below. And if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel, and then also make sure you share this video with someone. I know that you may have a friend that is trading and they're looking for some ideas. This video could be it. Even though this is not financial advice whatsoever, I'm just sharing what I have done. Go ahead and share this video with them. And then also a screen here, you're going to find some videos that are going to help you become an even better trader. Go ahead and check those out, and I'll see you there.